And welcome back. Joining us, like I said earlier, Zoo Tours, longtime friends of Rogers, Chris and Rachel. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
And as well, of course, we have the Learning Jungle all aboard with us now, a whole bunch of them. And Chris is going to tell us a little bit about Zoo Tours and what you guys get up to during the day.
Yeah, I wish it was just the day. 9 to 5, but with animals, it's 24/7. So a big part of our job is to share our passion with animals with kids. And we brought a couple of them. So is everybody here excited about seeing some pretty weird animals?
Yeah, I know, I'm excited.
All right. Well, what we like to do is talk to people about stuff that isn't always the cute and cuddly. Everybody loves giant pandas and tigers, all the warm and fuzzy stuff. Well, these are kind of neat too, and they don't get a lot of attention. This is a girl, and she's a Maleuromastyx. So she's from Africa, and she is a very tame lizard. She just kind of sits around and she waits for me to bring in food, fruits and vegetables and crickets, and she'll eat it all. She's like us. She'll eat meat and she'll eat fruits and vegetables.
Now, I know reptiles tend to be, they get sort of a negative, let's say.
Yeah, a bad rap.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Does this lizard sting or do anything like that should scare us?
Nothing that we brought today. Well, I always tell people anything with a mouth can bite you, but you have a better chance of me biting you than one of these. You'll see her sticking her tongue out sometimes. She licks just around her face because we also gave her some treats before we came in. But you're going to see all kinds of different animals, and all of them have mouths. But any animal, whether it's a reptile or a dog, just never stick your fingers right in the mouth and you'll be fine. This girl here, actually, if you guys want to hold her and pet her, you can even pass her down if you want. She's pretty laid back.
What does she feel like?
Scales.
Scales?
And they're different scales all over her body. She's got the dark head, which absorbs more heat to warm her up. She's got the smooth scales on the back, and then the big ones on the tail that she can use like a club. So if an animal's trying to catch her in Africa, if you're this small, something's going to try and eat you. Even if you're pretty big, something tries to eat you. So she'll use that as a defense. And if an animal, or like a bird or a bigger lizard, tries to get her, she just whips the animal with her tail, and hopefully that scares her away.
That's pretty neat. Does anybody want to touch?
No.
Yeah? Come on over.
A couple of yeses. And she's completely harmless that way. She's a really good pet.
Is that Spiky?
I don't know that one. Spiky.
Spiky.
Now, there's different kinds of lizards. They range in size from
careful,
the
you have to
Komodo
touch
dragon,
gently.
which is the biggest lizard in the world, to some geckos that are tiny. They would actually fit on your thumb, or you've got chameleons that are so tiny they fit on the top of a match head. So they are huge to tiny. You wouldn't even see them if you walked by them.
Hold
A
on
Komodo
tight.
dragon, you wouldn't miss it though. You would see that. It could be 10 feet long. That's a big, big lizard. These ones, the Mali, they're a pretty common pet. These ones are the most popular, along with bearded dragons.
I didn't feel a big one.
What
Sorry? Oh, you want to feel the big
You
one?
want to feel?
Well, he's right here. Do you want to pet him?
Yeah.
He's coming around. You go ahead. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Oh, that's the best thing about a Maleuromastyx. They're so laid back once they've been handled.
Oh, good. So he'll be okay to get passed around, you
for
think?
sure, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Hold on. You don't want to drop him.
We do all sorts of educational shows. We do corporate events, and we also do birthday parties. So all of the animals have been handled by, well, literally thousands
Of
of
children.
people.
Okay.
We've been doing shows for 20 years. So everything is used to being picked up and handled. And Rachel or I are always there.
Okay, good. So
I'm
you're
the
on
one that
you're on the
talks
ball
and-
if
yeah.
something goes, because I can't guarantee I'll grab that.
Well, it's taken even the crew on the daytime Simcoe show a long time, years to break down some of their fears. So.
Because it's really spiky.
And that's what it wants. Think about trying to put that into your mouth. If you were going to eat it, you wouldn't want a dinner that was spiky, right? So that's why it has those spikes. Now, these two are a little bit different. These are leopard geckos. So these ones aren't ones that you can really touch much with all the little hands without me there, because those tails aren't like the big club that one has. If this one gets scared, they drop their tail off, it wiggles, and then the lizard runs away, and over the next couple of years, it grows a new tail back. Neither of these ones have ever lost its tail, so it's a great big fat healthy tail. So this would be one at the birthday parties where Rachel would walk around and you'd get to see it up close and you'd get to pet it. And this isn't one that you'd want to
But
put on
maybe not handle.
for a handle, yes.
So you mentioned birthday parties. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. What we'll do is I'll switch these two around. Are you guys ready for another one down on the ground right beside you? All right. Well, what I will do is I will take Rocky. Did everybody see the Mallee? Yeah. Everybody got a chance to hold her?
Whoa.
That's snapping turtle.
We do have snapping turtles in Ontario, but here's the rule. Anything you guys can find in the backyard that's wild, you can't have as a pet.
Oh. Well,
So that's one of the rules, and it's a good rule
It is a
because
good
somebody's
rule.
going to want a snapping turtle, and they'll live to be 100 years old.
Wow.
Somebody's going to want a bear, and don't say it never happens because it happens.
Yeah.
Rach, if you want to put these guys back, we will.
So you can have some of these as pets though, because they do sell them at the store.
And these ones are all exotic. That one's from Pakistan and Afghanistan. That one's from Africa. Rocky here, I'm going to put her on the floor, and she is a redfoot tortoise.
Whoa.
She'll get to be as big as a soccer ball, and she'll live to be 80 years old.
A soccer ball.
So if you want a pet that's going to be for you, and then your kids, and then maybe your grandkids, this is something you're looking at.
I know we buy a pet. I know I have a pet.
You have a pet? What kind of pet do you have?
A gecko.
A
A gecko. It's
Cool.
probably, is it a leopard gecko?
Here, I'll pass you the
Crested
mic.
gecko?
A crested gecko.
A crested gecko. Do you like it?
crested.
It's the one that sits on the wall. Yeah, they make pretty good pets.
Yep.
My friend has a gecko and he lives in like a little house that he has like a little
Mine is
thing to
in
go
the house
inside
too.
to
Wow.
The ones that we brought out, the leopard geckos with all the spots, they're actually nocturnal, which means that they come out at night. So during the day they would sleep. So they were all in a little house. We actually have 4 of them. So they all hide in a house. They kind of stack up on top of each other. And then we had to take the house off, and we took those 2 out to bring to show you guys today. So those are ones that they're different lizards, but they do make good pets for an individual, not so much for a group to play with. Rocky here, she doesn't care. Actually, I brought a treat for her. That's what that is. My watermelon is leaking. She is a big fan, and she likes watermelons for that exact reason. It's very juicy. Most of these tortoises don't eat or don't drink water, but all the food that they eat, they get their water out of it. So, oh, there she goes.
So Chris, you said these are all exotic animals. How did you guys come to have them?
We got a lot of them because
Wow.
because people couldn't keep them.
Okay.
Their circumstances changed. This one came from a fella in Barrie. He had it since it was a baby, and it's 26 years old now. It went to university with them. He had it after he got married and then had kids, and he just couldn't keep it anymore. So now we have them.
Neat.
The leopard gecko, we also got, that's a tortoise thing. If you have a turtle or a tortoise, I guarantee you're going to have turtle or tortoise pee as well.
I think he's coming to sit in your lap.
So all of our animals, we don't breed anything. If we have a boy and a girl, we keep them separate so there's no more babies. This one here, she's just old enough to breed now, but usually when they're about 30 years old. So
Can I
it
pick
takes
her
a long
up?
time. Oh, absolutely.
Is
And
there any
she's like a
special
little
way?
tank. When we, I take out
Does
her
anybody
food
want to
dish
pet her?
out of the fridge, I shake the dish, and she comes wandering over when she's
Pretty
out
cool,
roaming
huh?
around the house.
I'm trying to.
Does anybody else want a pet?
Do you live here?
I do. She's actually like a little bulldozer. And when she gets tired at night, I find her, she's pushed over I have a little stand where she climbs up on my stand and goes into the back where it's dark,
Wow.
and she just goes to sleep.
Pretty.
So sometimes I find her beside the vacuum
pretty,
in the
isn't she?
cupboard. So I have to look for her at night and then take her
That's her
out.
belly.
And, yeah, in the laundry, she moves the laundry basket over.
Do you want to try to hold him? Can we just hold by the shell? Is there a special way?
Just the way you're doing it, yeah, that's
Okay,
perfect.
so just on the side here. Can you hold on to this side?
Can I hold him?
Well, we can maybe pass him around. He's a little bit heavy, so
Yeah,
be
he's
careful.
surprisingly heavy, and he will get to be much heavier. Now, this is a redfoot tortoise from South America, so we would live in the jungles right beside jaguars.
Maybe you'll go back to his yamen.
Whoa.
He's constantly thinking about food. All right, so we'll take
So what
him
types
this
of things might some of these reptiles eat?
Well,
We know that
one
she likes the
is
juicy stuff.
fruits and vegetables. Sometimes she will take earthworms.
Okay.
So whenever it rains, Rachel's out in the front yard picking up all the earthworms. And in the winter, we get our worms where all the fishermen go
Yeah.
for their stuff. This one here is a corn snake, and this is a corn snake as well. And both of these are unusual colors, and they both eat full-grown mice or small rats. So this one, a lot of people think rats have to eat live, or snakes have to eat live. They eat frozen. So it's like a pizza. I take it out,
Oh, okay,
thaw it out,
okay.
and then they'll eat it.
That's
They had to be
interesting.
trained to do that.
That's not the way with all snakes.
No, in
Okay.
the wild, snakes have to catch their food.
Yes.
Some have venom, these ones don't.
Okay.
Which is important when we bring them to
Of course,
birthday
of course.
parties for
Who
kids
wants
to
to
see
touch
them.
the snake?
I do.
Oh,
All right, now.
I don't. So how about
All
anybody
right,
else?
so we'll go this way.
I held a snake before.
This is a pretty good starter snake. If you're ever not sure about snakes, this is a good one to start. They will get to be about 5 feet long,
Oh,
and they have small heads. They're not venomous. They're not dangerous. Even if it bit somebody by mistake, it wouldn't hurt. There's
okay.
no danger
So
that way.
that brings me to a question because I do have a bit of a phobia, and so
Of
I'm
snakes?
absolutely.
I know,
Yeah.
ophidiophobe. Okay.
No, a phobia. Is that what it's called? An
Yeah,
ophidiophobia?
ophidiophobia, yeah.
So this might be a good snake for me to warm up to. If it's not venomous, what are some things that you could suggest for people who do have that fear to try to get over it maybe?
Actually, we've done several parties where people have a fear of something, and we warm them up to, well, we'll start with this snake, and then we get into bigger snakes. It depends. We try and figure out how that fear came. A lot of times we find out that when they were young, their brother or their cousin threw
Chased
a
them
snake
with
on them
one.
and chased
Yeah.
them. Exactly. So I try and explain to them that you should probably have a fear of brothers or cousins rather than the snake, because I guarantee the snake did not want to participate in that
That's
trauma-inducing event.
very true.
Again, it's also, if you don't like snakes, we just want to get people to the point where they don't want to
Hurt them. Of course.
And that's all. Because we have 17 types of snakes in Ontario. And in Barrie, you guys, when you're out playing, you guys like to play outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you might come across lots of different snakes right here in Barrie. And they're very important. They'll eat the mice and the rats that are around, and that's what you want. You want them to do their job. If you find one, you can pick it up if you have to, but I would get a parent, and you don't have to worry about them being dangerous.
So you mentioned earlier that you really love these animals, but how did you really get to here? Is this the kind of thing that you start out at 5 thinking that you're going to do?
I started out doing my first shows when I was 10. So
Wow.
I had snakes when I was about 7, and my mom had a deathly fear of them. She was so scared of snakes, she said, no way, no way. And I said, well, Mom, if you let me have a snake, one day I will work with tigers, and you'll be able to play with a tiger.
Aww.
So about 15 years later, I was raising tigers for the Elmville Jungle Zoo up here, and she got to play with the tiger. So it was worth it.
So it was worth it.
Yeah. Since this is a Mommy and Me show, really, we do more shows for girls than for boys. Actually, this one we can hand over there. You want to hand them over?
Okay. I'm just scared. I won't squeeze them or hurt them, will I?
You can't hurt this one.
Okay, so I just grab onto
She's
his
fine,
butt.
yeah,
Oh
there
God,
you
he's
go.
muscly.
Right there. There you go.
That is not what I expected him to feel like.
Sometimes what we do, and you just never grab a snake by the head. You can grab its body. It's pretty
Okay.
solid.
There you go. That's perfect.
I
Yeah.
love snakes, but I don't like this one.
No?
Sometimes the lighter colors with those
Sure
red
you
eyes
can.
really freak people out.
Oh.
And snakes have a bad reputation from several thousand years ago. They
I
got
did
that.
not expect it to feel so muscly.
You probably didn't even expect to hold on to it, right?
I really didn't.
Sometimes we sneak that in if we think that the person's ready. They are solid muscle. They
Yeah.
are ribs all the way down. You guys can feel your ribs right here, and they move in and out when you breathe. A snake is ribs from the neck all the way down to the tail. So it has to be
Whoa.
careful. If it falls out of a tree when it's looking for food and it falls onto the ground and it breaks a rib, imagine crawling around on a broken ankle or a broken foot. That's what would happen to a snake if it fell out of a tree and broke a rib. So it wraps around with its tail and hangs on really tightly so it doesn't fall.
Wow.
But snakes have no ears, no eyelids. They have no sense of hearing at all. They can't see really well, but they can climb, they can swim, they can go underwater, they can catch and eat something twice the size of their heads.
So they can't hear, but they can sense noise with their bodies? Is that what is it, vibrations?
With the vibrations on the bottom. If you walk in the woods and the snake is around you, it doesn't want to come out. A snake will never come out and attack you. It wants to hide because it knows you're too big for food.
Right.
You'll see it stick out its tongue quite a bit.
That's its scent smelling.
And it tastes the air. That's what it does there. You guys did very well with this one. Are you ready for?
How about warm and cuddly?
How about a snake that comes from this? Now,
You didn't bring that
the
today.
corn snakes are the starter snake, and we just checked to see how everybody's doing with that one. Now, I'll pass this one around. This was just shed 3 days ago. A snake will shed from the time it's born to the time it dies. They never stop growing. Actually, you guys shed your skin too. About every 6 or 7 weeks, you get an entirely new skin.
Can you imagine if ours came off like that, though?
Wouldn't that be cool? So I will hand this around, and you guys can touch it, and you can actually see the pattern on the back as well. And you can actually tell what kind of snake it is from the type of shed that you find.
It looks pretty durable, actually.
It's kind of like bubble wrap, but when I say that, people try and pop it. So that's one of the things we usually leave with the birthday boy or girl. We actually do more birthday parties for girls now than boys.
So you mentioned having some of these animals when you were not these ones, but you had reptiles when you were 7. Do you think that's a smart age for somebody to consider if you're thinking about getting your kids a pet at home? I know we often think puppy, kitty cat. But if you were thinking to go in this route, where could we kind of start with that?
My first ones were frogs and a turtle, and I would keep them for a couple of months. I was in northern Alberta.
But I would like to touch that.
So I don't suggest anybody get one of these. And in Barrie, it's illegal to have these. We actually got this one from the Barrie police when somebody had it as a pet. They moved out of their house, they left it there, and it had no heat,
you're
no
fostering it.
food. And it's been 6 years we've been.
Oh, wow.
So we take in animals from every place that they just can't be kept anymore.
They are really quite beautiful. With that being said, I don't want to touch that one at all.
Years. Well, more people worry about the little snakes than the big ones. You're never going to lose that snake when it's out, whereas the little snakes tend to move a little bit faster. This is a boa constrictor from South America. It's never been there. Everything is bred in captivity.
Okay.
So it is. You thought the other ones were muscular? These are solid muscle. She just stretches out, and she can just move along like I'm a tree branch, and she will sit in the trees and wait for anything with feathers or fur to come by.
Okay.
She would catch and eat a parrot or a monkey,
Well,
swallow it right down.
That's amazing. We're running out of time, but I do want to see what you brought that's cute and cuddly. You promised me something cute and
All
cuddly.
I will hang on to this one, and Rach will grab really the star of the show.
The star.
Yeah, when we do all the birthday parties, kids can get their picture taken with their favorite animal. So we're going to bring out Bunker.
Look at that.
And Bunker got his name because he likes to, I'll keep the head back here so it's not going to swing over. If you want to pet that one, you could pet her there.
Wow.
Yeah, that is Bunker. And do you want to hold Bunker?
Sure.
All right. Rachel?
Hi,
yeah.
Bunker.
And this is Bunker. He's a spayed male, so he's never going to have babies. If you have a rabbit, they can be litter trained. Bunker's litter trained. He actually trained his guinea pig roommate to be litter trained. And if you spay or neuter them, they are very laid back.
Oh, I love you.
And they make really good pets that way.
Me too.
I will hand this one back to Rachel.
So how do we find you guys? If we wanted to do something like this for our kids, how might we get our hands on that?
You can go to our Zoo Tours Facebook page or zootours.ca, and that will make sure that you get a hold of us, and we can go for corporate events, the Christmas parties, we do a lot of those,
Oh, I
birthday
bet.
parties,
Daycares.
oh, for sure. And it's so nice to see things have changed from the 20 years ago when we started. It used to just be boy birthday parties. Now, companies and everybody's interested in teaching kids about animals and the environment, and that's what we do.
Wow. Well, Chris, this has been phenomenal. I know you probably we could have sat here all day, I think, especially with the kids.
Sure.
Thank you, Rachel and Chris, both of you from Zoo Tours, for being with us today, and thank you so much, Learning Jungle. It's been phenomenal. I hope you guys have had fun. Did you guys have fun with the kids, with the animals? Yeah? And thank you so much for watching. We're going to be back next week on Mommy Talks, so make sure you tune in.